Nice. What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. We've got another fresh week of live streams coming up here. Just getting our excuse me, sorry. Hopefully that covered the mic enough. I couldn't get to the pause button fast enough, or to the mute button. My apologies there. How's everybody doing this week? Hopefully you had a great weekend. Hopefully you stayed nice and dry. I'm waiting for my phone to respond so that I can get my live stream going for my Instagram. Don't know why it's taking this time. Anyway, hope you had a great weekend. We're back again for another week here. It looks like my phone has finally awoken and is seeing me now. So we'll go ahead and see if it will cooperate as far as live streaming goes. So we're going to talk about journaling today. We're going to talk about the power of it and the necessity of it if you're looking to track yourself, the power and necessity of journaling, especially in the context of elevating your lifestyle. And that's what we're about here at Project Fresh, is elevating our lifestyle. And by elevating our lifestyle, journaling, make it a word, specifically what I mean by elevating your lifestyle is taking any one of those areas in your lifestyle and looking to improve it. You could use the SMART format if you want to, as far as goals, or create objectives, or just look for ways to make your lifestyle, the quality thereof, your experience better in whatever ways. We have a framework at Project Fresh: fitness, finances, recreation, relationships, education, in all areas and beyond. S is spiritual and soul health, covered by sanctity. So S for sanctity, and H, the overall health. And so let's say you want to work on your finances. Well, you need to know how much you're making. Obviously, most people do. You need to know how much you're spending. I highly doubt that people know as much how much they're spending as they know how much they're making. I would actually be interested, and this is kind of a sidebar, how many people budget their finances on average? Let's see if Google has an answer for that. Respondents had their family on a budget. Oh, 70%. That was 2018. 2019, 67%. So roughly two out of three Americans budget. Okay, not bad. I was expecting it to be a little bit lower, but that's good. Might have to budget. I wonder if, and this isn't to talk about income disparity or anything political or any of that nonsense, because the average, I think, what is the average income in the United States is in the 30,000s, I believe. I was just looking at it earlier today. I forget what it was exactly. Mid to mid high range in the 30,000s, which, as prices increase, and here in the Bay Area, that's very difficult. It's possible to live on that, but it's very difficult to live on it. But budgeting is important. But anyway, getting back to the journaling aspect, if you want to improve your finances, you need to know how much you make. You need to budget appropriately. Might need to create some scenarios that would provide you with a better financial situation. Perhaps you need to work on the credit. So the investment side, or the money side, may not be what you want it to be, but because you're looking to improve the credit, so be it. Or vice versa, perhaps you're looking to invest or expand in your ability to make money. Well, the credit is going to have to take a hit for you to do that, in utilizing credit as a tool to help you produce income earning assets. That's all something you need to learn as well. But ultimately, that journey, that process, not necessarily the knowledge side, but just the daily progress of it would be important. Just like keeping track of Fitness, if you do squats today with 0 pounds, next week you do squats with 0 pounds and realize, oh, that's pretty easy. I should add some weight. Okay, you grab a pair of fives or tens, and you're like, okay, I noticed a difference. Then the following week, it's like, those tens aren't really that heavy. I should go up. All right, let's say 20s and so on. Well, you need to keep track of that, right? So there's different ways you could do it. You could do an all-in-one. You could do a journal, one journal for one area in life, maybe a fitness and a nutrition and a uh, fitness nutrition journal, a life overall journal, maybe a spiritual journal. Um, what's really good about this is it has you reflect upon yourself in two different directions, or well, in the here and now, what's most important. So I don't necessarily mean in two different directions, but two different times. Obviously, the only time we can control is right here in front of us, and not time itself, but what we do in the context of the time, and then what we'd like to see happen in the future. Well, if you set some goals, that means you also have to have some, I don't know, what would you say, metrics or some other things, whatever it may be. You want to keep track of that process. That's what I'm getting at. So we're not talking about setting goals. We're not talking about necessarily the process of journaling more so, or how to, but just the fact that it's very valuable. In the context of that, what's great is once you have multiple journals that you can go back to. Whoops, I got pens falling out of mine. Um, I've got here, this is the last year of my life in these four journals right here, for example. Okay. So um, I'm not necessarily saying I can summarize my life in the last year with these four journals holistically, but I believe you could get a lot out of what was I thinking about? Where was my focus, my energy? Where was my money and my attention going to? You probably could get a good idea going through these four journals, what my focuses were, where my mind was, what I was working on or thinking about. I don't know. I just happened to open up to November 3rd of last year for this one. So this was my winter or fall. I guess this would be the fall quarter. And couple of notes to self, a list of people I'm praying for, what I was grateful for in the morning and evening, some lessons learned, some wins. Um, and these particular ones have quotes in them every day, which is cool. If you're interested, it's called the Self Journal. They have a four uh, journal set, which I actually need to get some more soon because I'm at the end of my set here. I was utilizing it to figure out what income for the business looked like last year compared to this year, to see if I qualified for PPP as a business. If you're a business, you might want to check that out if finances have been tough and tight. All the applications open. And I was able to determine that we as a company did better last year, surprisingly and thankfully. We learned some marketing and sales skills, which I'm sure I'll find in the April and May and maybe June part of these journals. That process, learning that process, setting some goals around it, achieving some goals, hitting some roadblocks, making some adjustments, writing some notes down. And this is just business and fitness and whatever else you want to put in it. The value of it is that you have tangible material that you can go back to at any given time and say, this is what I was thinking about at that particular time, and have things changed? Have my habits changed? Yes or no? This is my current one here. And, with that being stated, perhaps you don't know, it's valuable. Now, you can like I said, you can utilize it for a lot of things. You could get into some deep water, some challenging places and spaces. Really allow yourself to break open areas of hurdles, places you're struggling to break through, challenge points in relationship and business and work, in spiritual, whatever it may be. You can utilize a journal for that. Very valuable. Maybe those deep inner thoughts that you don't want to necessarily share with anybody yet, but it's still good to get them on paper. It's still good to get those out of your mind. Okay. and onto your paper, as I noted for today, there's really truly some serious value there. And if you do it on a regular basis, that self-reflection, it's like looking into a mirror. You get the opportunity to look at yourself on paper and really, really spend some time. And if there are some things on there that are really, really troubling you, it's very important, as I talk about all the time, finding in a relationship, maybe a therapist, maybe someone spiritually, or other family friend or someone who you can trust, who you feel is going to spend the time to listen to you, authentically listen, receive what it is you're saying, be that listening ear, not necessarily try to tell you what to do or anything like that, but be someone who's at the very minimum a very solid sounding board, someone who you're able to express yourself without any issues coming back. Even in that self right now, even in that itself is very valuable. In fact, I'll quote this: Pastor Rick Warren, who's down in Southern California, has been noted for saying many times, revealing your feelings is the beginning to healing. And I really like how he put that together. Revealing your feelings is the beginning of healing. And that process, if there's any challenges, or, and, healing doesn't have to be massive trauma or big, knockdown, drag out, very difficult situations in life. Obviously, those exist, but there can be the smaller, kind of slow drip situations that are taking place in our lives that can start to erode away from our energy and our focus. And those things require being addressed as well. So, whatever it may be, again, I like quoting what Pastor Rick said: revealing your feelings is the beginning of healing. And there's really a lot of value in it. Vulnerability is very valuable in the sense of opening yourself up. It provides that pathway for healing. It's actually very attractive to be vulnerable. Believe it or not, we just gravitate to others' vulnerability, authentic vulnerability, if you will. I don't necessarily want to get into clarifying that, but there's value there. There's a lot of value to it. But ultimately, for you and for the sake of what you're looking to do, whatever it may be, pick a category: faith, finances, family, friends, fitness, philanthropy. That's technically a P. Fill in the blank for whichever one it might be. Fun time, fun pastime. Okay. Uh, if you want to improve in that, or if you just want to see that process in its fullness, getting it on paper, out of your mind and on paper, is very valuable, because the value of looking back at something, being able to go through things that you were having a challenge with and really get into it, really makes a difference. I remember, actually, I've been doing this for a very long time. I was probably started when I was in fifth or sixth grade, maybe even further back. I don't know when I started, but I remember being in, like, it had to be probably my freshman year of high school. And I'd go back and read some of the stuff that I wrote in like junior high, or even maybe in elementary. I forget. I just remember laughing at myself for some of the things that I was writing about, some of the things that I was maybe being challenged with, or dealing with, or whatever it was. I was kind of laughing at myself because it's like, oh, I've maybe moved on, or now think about it differently, or have had some maturity, or whatever it may be, or things change, whatever it might be. It's just so interesting to look back and see that. And what's cool about looking back is you give yourself some context. Have I progressed? Am I still stuck where I'm at? Have I maybe gone backwards? Because you can go backwards. Give yourself a good analysis, and then once you figure out where you're at as far as awareness goes, then you can decide, all right, is it fine to stay here? Do I need to make a move, or is it something that no longer needs to be addressed? Whatever it may be, and you have it all right in front of you, because we've got so many different parts of our life going on at the same time. We've got our personal lives, we've got our family lives, we've got friends' lives, we've got social group lives, we've got work lives, we've got, for spiritual category, spiritual life. You got all these different things going on in your life at the same time, and it's all woven together. It's not like we can necessarily spread it all apart and uh, something that happens over here can affect the rest of it over here, right? Because the common denominator is you, a common denominator is me, and that person shows up in all of it, right? So, long story short, there is value in that. I would say there is definitely value in journaling, because getting it all out so you can see it all. That's where I was going to go with that thought process. Being able to see it all in one place is very valuable. I got stuff here on my desk, new stuff to look at, figure out, try to determine if it's necessary to look at. And it's just like you got to have a place where you can kind of keep it all together, if need be, especially in the context of getting busy. So I wanted to start off this week with that. I thought it would be valuable. It's something I've been doing, like I said, since I was anywhere between elementary and junior high. So at that point, you're like what 12ish roughly. So almost 20 years, and I can tell you, there are seasons and periods in my life where I really wish I would have. There were things that happened and went on that I don't exactly recall how it went or what I was feeling or what was going on. The feelings may not necessarily be as important as the details. And then there are other seasons where I definitely was keeping track. I'm grateful that I did, very much so, because it gives it flushes out those situations and challenges, the road to maturity and the growth and all that comes with it. And I think it gives some more perspective to today, to the application of what I know for today. So, with that being said, I'll leave you guys with that. Take it or leave it as something that you want to apply in your life. Ultimately, keep us posted on all the different things. I put my list for different topics somewhere else, but we have plenty of different topics to cover. Lots going on moving into this new year. So, I hope you guys are staying well and safe and warm as it is winter. Even here in the Bay Area, it's cooler. It's raining all weekend. It'll be raining all week, which we need. We need lots of rain. But stay safe, well, and warm out there. All right. We'll see you soon. Project Fresh here with Ryan Sanders, checking in and checking out till next time. All right.